Hi and hello watch fans, and welcome back to the Real Time Show with me, your friendly neighbourhood watchmaker, Rob Nuds. Today I am joined by the co-founder and editor-in-chief of 12 and 60 and the organiser of the Watch It Watch Fairs, Joshua Clare-Flagg, also known as a professional dabbler in many other bits and bobs of the watchmaking industry. So Josh, welcome.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
So you are a busy man. You have been busy ever since we first met, which I guess was around 10 years ago now, in a hotel in the middle of England at one of your events, which are populated by many exciting up-and-coming independent brands, many Brits, but other international brands as well coming in for the fairs. Why don't you tell us how you got your start in watchmaking and what it is you love about the industry so much?
All right. So how did I get started? Well, I've always loved watches since I was young. In fact, you could call it like my villain origin story is, do you remember the Argos catalogue? And they always used to have an excellent watch section. And as a young boy, as I'm sure many other young boys did, you'd flick through the watch section, you'd dog-ear the pages and circle the watches you wanted. And there was this amazing Casio, which was a touchscreen data bank, and it was 50 quid. So I used to wash the car every week. Mum and Dad's car, got 2 quid for that a week and other chores. Finally, I saved up enough money, and by the time I saved up enough money, the Argos catalogue, a new one came out, and that watch was not in there. So I was absolutely mortified. But I got another watch. I think it was like a really old, one of the original G-Shocks. Absolutely adored it and loved it. But funny enough, I did find that exact same watch on eBay a few years back, and I bought it just for my younger self. So yeah, I've loved watches for a very long time. Flipping watches all the time, as I'm sure many other collectors do. So I was a web developer. I still am a sort of a developer by trade. And I thought, I'm flipping so many watches, I might as well make a watch blog because I can. Mm-hmm. And so, I started sort of documenting every watch that I bought, writing reviews, and eventually sort of it gained traction. So it was Watch It All About to begin with, and then joined forces with James Mulvale, who works currently for Fairer for 12 and 60. So that sort of like naturally progressed, got more and more popular. Watch brands started reaching out to me, and by that point I was like, well, this is unusual, because beforehand it was purely self-funded. Like many horrible addictions are. So having watch brands fund my addiction was superb, to be honest. I was just like fumbled my way through, really. Enjoyed watches for a very long time. The watch blog has been going since 2013. I launched it, so sort of 13 years. And then moving on to the watch events. So it was 2018, 2019, the first event, which, funny enough, if you go on the Watch It Fair website, watchitfair.com, and you go to the About page, there is a picture of that very first fair, and you are in it, Mr. Nuds, looking young and resplendent.
That's a long time past.
So that was just a case of, back then, nowadays there are a lot of watch events, but back then there was none in the UK. And I thought, why not? I did it just because I wanted to go to an event. So I was like, well, why not try and arrange one myself? So I got some great brands signed up. Christopher Ward's, they were really helpful back then as well. So they were like the big ticket name. And I just hired a hotel room on the outskirts of Rugby, where I live. And through my watch blog and through forums and Facebook groups, whatever, just said, hey, you come to this event and we'll see how it goes. And there was only 12 brands. And it was just for an afternoon. But I had loads of people come, and people seemed to enjoy it. So then unfortunately, COVID happened, so I did have one in the works, but obviously it got cancelled. And then post-COVID, this will be the 4th one since COVID reopening this year. I'm not a professional event organizer. I've sort of bundled my way through as well. But every year it seems to go down pretty well, and people seem to enjoy it. So I thought, keep on going with it. So That
I
sort
mean,
of
it comes across as very professional, I have to say. Like, I really feel like you do a great job, and it takes a huge amount of effort to organise something like that and pull together so many brands. Your opening speech there gave me so many flashbacks to my youth. The Argos catalogue. I must say I preferred the Argos Editions catalogue for the lingerie section. I used to fumble my way through that when I was a young boy.
you would hide and do the bed. Yeah.
Unabashedly flicking through it on the bus to school. But yeah, it was, I mean, just free magazine. Wonderful. And rugby, what an interesting part of the world. I've only ever been out in rugby once on a stag do where a guy punched me in the face 7 times without response at the bar because my friend was kissing his sister. And I wasn't even doing anything. I was just trying to order a pint. But I responded to his aggression in the same way I always do when people punch me in the face, which happens a lot more often than I think I deserve, but obviously not, by saying that wasn't very nice. And eventually he got tired and a bit perturbed by the fact I was just trying to drink my pint and wasn't bothered about my mate snogging his sister. She should have been grateful, to be fair. My mate's well sexy, and she was he was way out of her league, but whatever.
Rugby is like one of the most boring towns going. So, first of all, I'm staggered that you had a stag do in Rugby.
We were on a canal boat, right? So I don't know where we got the boat. We ended up in Rugby. We moored up, and I think it was the night that Mark Selby was playing Ronnie O'Sullivan in one World Championship final that I think Selby eventually won. So we were all a bit pissed off to begin with, and we went out. And this was a stag do, like the mother of all stag do's. It was basically 13 former RAF psychos and me and my brother, and so it was a bad group of. That's why they were punching me and not one of the 6'5" guys behind me, because
you'll do.
I was reachable. My face was like on a human level, but it was hilarious. It's great to go out with a gang like that in a brand new town and have such a fun time. So I don't know, maybe my experience of rugby is completely anomalous, but it's cool.
Well, thank you for sharing that. On behalf of rugby, I apologise for your face.
Oh, no, my face, it actually gets better every time someone punches me. I had a real weird face when I was younger, but it's been punched into some kind of shape, you know. I got jumped years ago, got my nose broken and jaw dislocated, and it really fixed my nose. I used to have an awfully pointy nose, and now it's just a normal shape. So, you know, free cosmetic surgery. It's great, you know, it's just all these memories, free Argos Editions catalogue, free nose job, wonderful stuff. And so much diversity in your background, and a lovely story of how you built your way, you say fumbled or bundled your way through the industry, but you've done it like with some extreme grace and come out the other side of it as a figure that, you know, is well known in the industry, very well liked and also respected, because you do a good job. So how do you manage it? Where do you find the time?
Breaking news, I don't really. So I I do have a day job of development. So the watch side of things is completely, I suppose it's a good thing that it is still purely a what's it called? A hobby. So I don't do it for sort of the money. I do it because I love watches, which I suppose because of that, I do still manage to find the time. So it's usually, any break I have during the day, I'll like hop into my emails, hop into Instagram. And then in the evenings and weekends, I'll be doing bits and bobs as well, which can be exhausting for 13 years nonstop.
Do you have a relationship or friends or?
Yeah, no? I have a wife, and I have 2 children and a dog. So
Good
it can be
grief.
Yeah, it can be pretty difficult balancing all these things, especially with Watch It sort of this kind of time frame, the 6 months before the event. You know, it's half of every year planning, inviting all the watch brands, like finding venues, arranging stuff, sorting out tickets, reaching out to lovely people like yourself to try and get some, you know, press coverage. It is quite a significant amount of work, but you know, I do it because I enjoy it, and I always my goal for the watch event in particular is I want to build a watch event that I would go to as a watch fan first and foremost.
Okay.
So there's a number of all the other watch events. Well, I can't say for certain like 100%, but a majority of the other watch events, they do have sort of business reasons behind them, because, you know, at the end of the day, of course, these people, it's a job to them. They need to get money to survive. So I feel quite freed by that, in that yes, I do make some money from it. I'm not going to say I don't, but it's not sort of like critical. It's more about the experience. It's more about getting watch brands that I would like to see, because obviously I go there to enjoy myself as well, but also watch brands that I know that other people like me would want to come and see as well. And I just want to make sure it's a nice experience for the people who do come.
So what
So
kind of
that's
practical changes have you made in that regard? Like, do you provide like water for the brands? Do you have a cloakroom for the visitors? I don't know, like what things have you noticed as someone that visits watch events and have seen some things that you didn't like? What have you got rid of and what have you added to watch it?
so one of the main things. It's such a simple thing, but I went to British Watchmakers Day, which is sort of like the number one watch event in the UK. You can't deny it. It's absolutely superb. The way they like get so many amazing brands in one room is amazing, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. But 3 hours is not enough. I couldn't get around everyone. So by the time I was in the middle slot, I think it was 2 till 5, or 1 till 4, I can't remember. But I was in the middle slot, and I was like, "Damn, I've got to get out now. That sucks." And I hadn't got around all the watch brands, because I like to speak to everyone, even if it's not a watch that I will particularly be interested in buying. I still want to speak to, which is what I encourage all of my visitors to do. Look, even if it's not a watch that particularly interests you, still speak to the founder, because they have such amazing stories, and they always have amazing reasons behind sort of what they've done, and there's always cool stuff that you may not have realized or appreciated. So, first of all, no time limit. So it is just a one full day event, which gives people plenty of time to sort of mill around, relax. It's at a hotel, so there's a bar there as well. Have a drink, have a cup of tea, coffee, whatever. Just take your time. Secondly, which I'm introducing for this year, is sort of like a accompanying mini microsite kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the plan is that people will be able to visit this website as they're going around. They'll be able to, obviously, the obvious things, there'll be a table plan there, there'll be a list of exhibitors. But what they need to do is each exhibitor will have a QR code, and then they can scan when they visited an exhibitor. They'll have little notes section. So they'll be like, "Oh, this watch was amazing at this brand." And then at the end of the day, they can collate everything, email themselves, sort of like their notes from the day. And also giveaways there'll be a giveaway like between 2:30 and 3 at the end of the day. So that will be sort of powered by, we've got sponsored brands, so they'll have to sort of scan them and then scan 4 other brands. So they need to be able to have scanned 10 brands to be entered into the giveaway. And then sort of I'll be able to use that information to do like a random draw from that. So it's sort of it's good for the brands because it encourages people to come to their stands. But additionally, for each brand on this accompanying app website thing, there'll be recommended conversation starters, because so many times when I'm at events, a lot of people don't know sort of what to ask them or what makes this brand different, or just how to. They'll like look at a table and then just walk on.
Mm-hmm.
So sort of having these little like a few little very interesting questions specific to each brand, that the visitors can say, "Oh, I notice here, it says to ask you about how your cases are made," or whatever. I feel like that would be really handy for both sides to start having meaningful conversations. There'll be a little questionnaire, like a little quiz as well, so people can learn if they're not. So if they're coming to a watch event, maybe their first time, or they're just getting into watches, some watch events can be very, very like snobby and up themselves a little bit. So I just want to try and sort of make it as open as possible to anyone. So I feel like these little conversation starters, these like little quiz or something to help people learn the basics of watches or watchmaker making or whatever. I feel like I want to try and help people enjoy it as much as possible. No snobbiness.
No barriers to entry.
Yeah, no barriers to entry. The least snobby of watch event in the UK or in the
Josh,
world.
it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant to hear. You know, I speak to a lot of event organisers, and we've had quite a few on the show in the past 3 years since we've been running. And I ask this question quite often, and I have to say the best event I've ever been to, with this in mind, was Micro Praha, which
Okay.
is organised by Banu and Andra, and they, like you, had been to many events and picked up on some, impediments, shall we say, to enjoyment, and eliminated them. And they put on a fair that was perfect for the guests and for the exhibitors.
Mm.
But very often I get generic answers. This was not a generic answer at all. This was incredible, and what brilliant, genuine innovation for the way that people can interact with brands and engage with the event itself, and incentives, like you say, to visit different brands, good conversation starters provided, and also a draw where they can win something. I'm impressed, man. I love it. I think it's brilliant.
Cool, man. Well, I hope it'll work out well. So yeah, that's sort of on my radar at the moment. Building that in the background, ready for the watch event. So yeah, I suppose I better do a bit of a thing about the watch event. Come to the watch event, June the 20th. Please, watchitfair.com. So another thing that I like about Watch It Fair, being a Midlander myself, all the other watch events can be a bit of a headache to get to, especially London events. Obviously, you got to pay for your ticket, you got to get there, and then, it ends up being a long day. It can be difficult to get to, and especially if like someone comes from even further north than I am, London can be a right trek. So being in the Midlands, I feel it's perfect, perfectly equidistant to the whole of the United Kingdom. So it's in a hotel in Solihull, which is on the east side of Birmingham. So great transport links. So, next to the M42, M40, M1, M6, all of the motorways you could ever dream of, as well as, good public transport links as well. So, yeah, I sort of like, it's nice. I also... This takes me back a bit as well. When I first started, I was like, why is there nothing going on in the Midlands? It's like so weird. It's not even like a Red Bar Birmingham, which I was quite surprised by. And I have thought about starting one, but I was like, no, that's one step too far. I don't have the brain space to manage that as well. So yeah, I was like, I'll take the middle then, if no one else is, because obviously we have Watch Collectors Club, which I highly recommend getting involved with as well. Hamish is a wonderful guy. He looks after sort of Scotland. He's got the Glasgow Watch Show. It's got one in Manchester, one in Southampton. And then Nicholas from Fears is sort of owning Bristol as well. There's obviously Bristol Watch Show. And then there's the classics in London too. So I thought, well, I might as well take the middle of England. So yeah, the only one sort of in the Midlands which I feel is like the best of all worlds. So everyone in England should come to my event.
Controversial opinion, but it's actually remarkable that Birmingham doesn't have a Red Bar, especially with the jewellery quarter, the BHI, and the Birmingham University having a degree in horology. Dr. Rebecca Struthers and Craig working there, two of the greatest watchmakers in Britain. I mean, how is that possible? That Birmingham is, I'll say that Manchester's the second city of the UK, or at least the capital of the North, but Birmingham is the second biggest city in the UK.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
Yeah, I know. So calling anyone who is from the Midlands, set up a Red Bar Birmingham, please. So anyway, yeah, back to the event. So I got I've lost count at the moment, but it's between 40 and 45 watch brands, probably like 43, 44, all under one roof. Got some real big hitters as well this year as well. So I'm really looking forward to having like Maurice Lacroix there. And I reviewed their Acon Ventura, and that was like incredible. So I'm really looking forward to having them. I've got plenty of British brands as well. It is mainly focused on British brands as you would expect, but loads of the classic brands like Pinion, Schofield, got Bamford London coming as well. There's too many really to mention. So I would implore you, listeners, please visit watchitfair.com to have a look at the lineup, because you will be amazed by the goodies that we have on show. And like I say, it will be a wonderful experience for all involved as well. Hopefully, I'm selling it as much as possible here.
Yeah, you're doing a good job. Yeah, I might have to get on a plane and come out for one myself because
Yeah.
it sounds brilliant. And I guess like a hotel in Solihull, no offense to the region, but that's not going to be as expensive as a hotel in London. So if people do have to travel from further afield, they can stay the night before the event, right?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I had a look, and it's less than £100, and it's really nice. It's a Voco by International Hotel Group. So I did previously work in hospitality for a hospitality web agency, and so it is a very nice hotel. It's freshly refurbed. The room itself is just one big room with the sort of a row of tables on the outside, row of tables on the inside, so you can't get lost. Literally, you go in the room, make your way around, enjoy yourself. Bar outside. That's all you need to know, really.
Yep.
But yeah, the hotel itself is really lovely, and yeah, rooms are under £100 if you did want to stay there either the night before or the night of. So yeah, exactly. Easy to get to, cheap to stay because it isn't sort of in Mayfair or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's those are real concerns, because.
Yeah.
A weekend in London, certainly these days, does not come particularly cheap. And if you're buying tickets for an event on top of that, then it can, take the place of a charming city break with your beloved. So you have to really justify it, I would say.
Actually, funnily enough, I didn't even realise this, but it is the weekend of Father's Day. So I would highly recommend, make it an outing, a Father's Day outing. With your loved ones, with your family, with your children, make a thing out of it.
Do you have a kids area? You ever thought about that?
I have not, but I will think about that. And
watch Crash.
Yeah,
you could have massive 3D printed movements that they can build together.
I've been speaking to my mate who's well into his 3D printing, and you see like these jumbo sort of working movements.
I love them.
Yeah, it would be amazing to get. It might be a bit late in the day to sort of get them arranged, but
you know what you could do? You could take let's take Giles Schofield, Giles Ellis of Schofield as an example. He'd be up for something like this. He'd print out a black and white sheet of either a watch or the graphics he's got on the windows for store, something like that, and get the kids to colour it in. A colouring in competition, and then they can win like a Casio or something. I don't know.
I might be speaking out of line, but I've got Shure watch coming, and Darren Shure has made this sort of like kids watch, which is
I know the one.
Like really nice size for kids, really clear, helps them learn time.
They're only about £100 retail, those Shure watches, right? So
I know, they're amazing. Yeah,
have a word with him. Get a competition on the go for the kids.
That's a great idea. Wow, this is and then maybe my kids will come, and I'll just dump them in the corner and say, please.
Off you go. It could be very interesting. I mean, we do need to do something about the next generation coming into watchmaking, because the amount of news articles I've seen recently that profess that children cannot read analog time anymore because they're just not taught in schools is absolutely shocking. So Shure's doing a good job. More watch brands, and for anyone that knows the watch brands I'm involved with, watch this space, need to be thinking about bringing kids into this wonderful hobby. Talking of the hobby, though, let's you've done a good job selling the event. Don't worry. I think we got the message across. Okay, everybody, go to the website, book your tickets to Solihull, have a lovely weekend. Go to Rugby for a night out. It's wild.
Get punched in the face 7 times.
Punched in the face 7 times. You said when you started collecting, you would buy, you would flip, you would buy, you would flip. And I'm guessing, like many of us in the early days of our collecting journey, that was because you wanted to experience as many different types of watches as possible, and you were financially constrained, so you couldn't just hoard all those pieces at once. Has your collecting habit changed since then?
Yes, it has. Unfortunately, fortunately for me, but so because I run 12 and 60, I do get sort of free watches sent to me. So I get to scratch that itch without having to pay money. So yeah, and recently I did sort of, well, I say recently, a few years ago, I amassed a huge collection of watches, and I did sell many of them to fund sort of my grail, which is a Omega Planet Ocean, which I'd been dreaming of for many years. So that's sort of like one of
Which one?
It's the blue 38.5 mil Planet Ocean 600 with the sort of the ceramic dial, the model before the current one, because obviously they've just recently had a bit of a design overhaul. So I didn't even know it came in 38.5 mil until I started like properly looking into it. I was like, oh, I'd love a Planet Ocean, but they are a bit big, they're 42 mil, quite thick, chunky boys.
Oh yeah.
And I found out, wow, they've got a smaller one. I was absolutely falling in love with it. Perfect size for me. And I've got S&P 300 as well. So I am a bit of an Omega fanboy. So now I suppose, yes, if I was to buy my own watch, it would be fewer higher quality 2 watches, because, I can't wear 40 watches, let's face it.
No.
Yeah, I am my 2 sides, really. I still absolutely adore handling as many watches as I can. But the ones that I personally buy, I'm more considered, I suppose. Yeah. I would say. But funnily enough, one of the ones that I do want to buy is one of the Clements watches. Unfortunately, Clements can't make it to my event, but I spoke to Tom, British Watchmakers Day, and I was blown away by the quality of watches for, I think, about 600 quid. Yeah. And I was like, oh, yeah. So when I buy another watch, when I personally buy one, I'll probably go for a Clements. Or also, I really want to try a Monta as well, from America. Or I haven't seen or handled one, but I just hear good things about them.
You've got a type. I mean, because I was really impressed by the build quality of Clements, like the finishing, especially for the price point. I love the yellow dial one. That's my favorite. Beautiful. But isn't there like a really cool, like segmented multicolored dial or something with orange and teal and white?
Yeah.
Really fun, and brands like that, and like Bowcroft, where our mutual friend Lucy is now working, they make a really good product for not much money. And Monta is the same. I've had many experiences with them in hand, and you just find yourself wondering why certain products from other bigger brands cost exactly what they cost. And we know it's branding, it's marketing, it's storytelling, and those things are essential. They have to be built into the cost somewhere. But if you're interested in product, you can't go wrong with those brands.
Nice. Yeah.
So unfortunately, because this has been a very interesting and information-laden episode, we have to wrap it up because you're a busy man. You have a call to attend immediately. So it was short and sweet. But Josh, thank you for your time. Thanks for sharing the information about Watch It. If people haven't read 12 and 60 before, go check that out as well. It's a very great source of independent information. And obviously, we have to get you back on the air at some point in the near future to talk a little bit more together, because it was a pleasure. So thank you very much. If our audience has any questions for Josh and you know how to get in touch, you can contact us via the usual channels on Instagram at therealtime.show or via the contact form on the official website www.therealtime.show. We'll be back soon with more top quality watch content and interviews with the industry's finest. Until then, stay safe and keep on ticking.